Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 764, and it is your review of Kenji Mitsuguchi's Sansho the Bailif. As always, is the nerd iconic here to host the show, launched by my wonderful co-host, Brad Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful Tuesday.
Tuesday night, live early and ad-free over on patreon.com/nerdcore, where you can get this episode, as I just said, live early and ad-free before anybody else gets to watch it. Sometimes the episodes are weeks, early and ad-free, and sometimes they're days. This one will probably be a couple days. Now, did not notice I never uploaded Platoon before I went to the wedding.
And now they have Platoon.
And now they have Platoon. Once again, if you are someone out there who can edit simply, make a couple cuts here and there, put a ad in between where we pause, and upload the episodes, I will gladly pay you at least $20 per video. And that guarantees you at least 40 a week. So, yeah. Please. But, because at this point, I'm thinking about dipping into my own cash money to make sure that we can get this shit done. Yeah. Brad, before we can go ahead and get into this review, how are you doing today?
I am, made it through another day.
Yeah. Didn't commit a crime. Didn't get yourself fired.
Nope. No 3 hots in a cot for this guy.
No, you made it.
I made it.
Sometimes that's all we need, bro.
Sometimes you just gotta make it through the day. I didn't get fired. Made
Me
it through
neither.
the workday. Yeah.
I didn't get fired.
All good so far.
All was good to me. I didn't get fired. I made it through the workday, got home, I watched this movie, and I ended up falling asleep, so that's why we're here a little bit later than usual. Now I gotta take, Now I gotta make sure I eat dinner and stuff, but I don't think there's gonna be gym tonight. I think this is gonna be one of my 2 rest days, my second rest day, which, understandable, because I did, I come back from a wedding where I didn't sleep much, so.
Yeah. I see that.
Yeah, so now we're gonna, I'll probably be going tomorrow, more than likely. So, just gotta figure out what I want to do for dinner. I fucking hate when I meal prep so much shit, because then it just leaves all the shit for dinners. It's like I'm eating the same shit, which I don't mind eating this protein spaghetti with fucking turkey and marinara sauce, because it's actually good. But it's just like, damn, bro. I'm going on like the 3rd day of eating this shit. But, yeah. Anything else to report, Brad?
Nothing much going on for a Tuesday.
No. We don't live much, eventful lives, guys. This is as eventful as it gets.
Go to work, try to fit in all these movies and television shows, review them, go to sleep.
And somehow we make it happen.
Somehow.
Yeah. You know, sometimes there are movies that I've already seen. I'm like, Brad, I'm not rewatching this. I do not have time right now. But I know
it. You don't do that often, though.
Huh?
You don't do that often, though.
Oh, no.
You've done it like maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've done it for 1.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't watching Scarface.
Yeah. But like when it comes to these movies, it's like, dude, I have to watch this. I've never seen this movie before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always wanted us to watch something from Mitsuguchi, mainly because Tarkovsky is heavily influenced by Mitsuguchi, and I think after watching this, you do see a lot of the parallels in there. Yeah.
I am depressed.
I am depressed. Yeah. So I wanted us to finally kind of scratch this guy off the list, and I'm hoping that we can give him a proper month in the future, because
that was I think we should get into the review.
Yeah, I think we should get into the review too. So we'll be back for this review after these words from our sponsors. Today's episode of Nerdcore is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code TheNerdCore. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. Brad, I'm going to read a mix of the Criterion Collection, Wikipedia, and some trivia from IMDb.
Okay. You already have IMDb open, right?
Yes, no worries about that. When an idealistic governor disobeys the reigning feudal lord, he is cast into exile. His wife and children left to fend for themselves and eventually wrenched apart by vicious slave traders. Under Kenji Mitsuguchi's dazzling direction, this classic Japanese story became one of cinema's greatest masterpieces, a monumental and pathetic expression of human resilience in the face of evil.
I think you mean apathetic.
What the fuck did I say?
Pathetic. Pretty sure you meant apathetic.
Empathetic.
Empathetic, okay. Apathetic or empathetic, not pathetic.
I just woke up. I just woke up.
I just wanted to make that statement for anyone listening. He did not mean pathetic.
Yeah. Sorry, Mitsuguchi. Known by its Japanese title in the United Kingdom and Ireland, which is Sansho Dayu, is a 1954 Japanese period film directed by Kenji Mitsuguchi based on a 1915 short story of the same name by Morio Gai, translated as Sansho the Steward in English, which in turn was based on Sekoe Bushi, oral lore appearing in written form in the 17th century. It follows two aristocratic children who are sold into slavery. Sansho the Bailif bears many of Mitsuguchi's hallmarks, such as portrayals of poverty and elaborately choreographed long takes. Today, the film is often ranked alongside Ugetsu as one of Mitsuguchi's finest works. And it doesn't really bring it up here, but it is also, I was researching a lot after this, which usually what would happen when my brain gets an itch after I watch a really good movie. It also, one of his hallmarks is the oppression of women in film. Oppression of women in Japanese history. So he's kind of was one of the things that he concentrated a lot in film. Screenplay by Fuji Hiro and Yoshikata Yoda. And produced by Saichi Nagata, starring Kinuyo Tanaka, Kyoko Kagawa, Yoshikai Hanayagi, Eitaro Shindo. Cinematography is done by Kazuo Miyagawa, edited by Mitsuzo Miyata. Music is done by Fumio Hayasaka, and it sits at 2 hours and 4 minutes. And Brad, it seems that 1954 was quite the year for Japanese films, because also the same year that Seven Samurai was released. Yeah.
Hits on hits on hits.
Yeah. I got a couple of trivia I want to read here. This film, like several films by director Kenji Mitsuguchi, was widely praised in both Japan and West for its smoothly flowing camera work, but these camera movements were in fact planned and blocked by the great cameraman Kazuo Miyagawa, rather than by the director, who gave Miyagawa free rein in his use of the camera. It's easy. Kenji Mitsuguchi initially intended to center the film around Sansho, the slave lord. However, the film ended up with the sad story of Zusho and Anju as its narrative dramatic center. So in all previous versions of the tale of Zusho and Anju that exist, Anju is depicted as Zushio's older sister. However, for the film, the director Kenji Mitsuguchi was so determined to cast as Anju the talented young Kyoko Kagawa, who was in fact considerably younger than Yoshiaka Hanayagi, who plays Zushio. That is the film, he depicted Anju as Zushio's younger sister. And of course underwent a restoration, which was thanks to Masahiro Miyajima and Martin Scorsese from the from the Japan Foundation, and of course Japan Foundation and Miyajima Yeah, Yima and Scorsese. Um, um, not much else other than like some of the shit that you could just find on the internet. So, Brad, long been wanting to finally watch this, right? I've always heard about this movie, heard about this director, and I have to say, Brad, I am not disappointed at all. I thought this movie was incredibly shot, first of all, incredibly scored, but at the core of this movie is a story about empathy, love, and resilience with these two children who grow up to be young adults who don't ever forget about the teachings of their father.
Mm-hmm.
And even though one of them does want to ignore the teachings of their father, the daughter is always there to remember and be the example of what her father taught her. And I was really moved by this movie, Brad. What are your initial thoughts?
This movie's excellent. The first thing I noticed out of this movie, honestly, was the sets. The sets are massive. They're huge. I mean, you feel, and you probably were in a Japanese village of some sort. That's how big these sets are. So that's the first thing I noticed out of this film. I think cinematography-wise, gorgeous, gorgeous. Uh, I think you're right. At the center of all is this story of resilience and of basically two children who don't forget their father's teachings of mercy and to be merciful and to follow that. And, at the end of the story, even though it's very sad, a very depressing film, I think the mother's
Heavy, Brad.
I think the mother's words of, you know, I can't be mad at you. You followed your father's teachings, and that's why we're together. Otherwise, we would have both died not knowing if the other had lived.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of it, I think there are far more things worth than striving for power and money, and that's what's shown in this. Because at the end of this movie, he does find his mother again, and that's something.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, merciful to the point where where the sister kills herself for
Yeah, I
her
mean,
brother.
she sacrifices herself. I think she would have sacrificed herself either way because she probably would have been tortured to death.
Yeah.
And who knows if she would have given up his location at some point. So she did what she believed was the honorable thing and sacrificed herself and killed herself so she would not give up her brother. And I think we see him going through a transformation too. We see him kind of falter when he gets a little bit older. He turns kind of cold and he just does the... And then he sees Sancho basically throw out an ill woman to leave her to death in the elements. And
I think that's where the
changes
switch
his
happens
heart.
for him.
Yeah, he sees that Sancho is not a good human being.
No, he's very cold. He's a dick, dude. He's a very
horrible.
evil person.
He's horrible. He is he is the most villain of many villains I have seen in film. There is no liking this man, and I have no idea why his name is as the title of the movie. It makes it like it makes it funny because usually the title of the movie is like a Yojimbo, a Sanjuro.
Yeah.
Those are two of the same characters, but they're heroes in some way. Anti-heroes for some others, but still heroes in some form. Sancho the Bailif is a demon. He's relentless in his cruelty. He enslaves children, enslaves adults until they're in their 70s, does not let them leave, does not let them die on their own terms. He is despicable.
Yeah. Something that just drew my attention right away was just how much, patience there is with the camera, and that there's a shot like that right away reminded me of Stalker, where it's like all these things are on the floor, they're all broken, and it just reminds me of, Stalker when it's going through that what's it called, water, and it's like showing all the pictures of Christ, and I was like, wow, like Tarkovsky drove so much influence from Mitsuguchi, like just even the way that Miyagawa in this movie photographs water. It's like it's crazy, like the way that the parallels are really just there, and I thought that the cinematography was incredible. There's just one scene that just absolutely blew me away as well, when she walks out to the water to die. Like, oh my god, how that's framed, the lighting,
and then the final air bubble when she goes in.
Just my god, like one of them, such a sad scene, right?
Yeah.
But just photographed so beautifully. Like it almost feels like something like it's so morbid to say it like this, but like something pretty to watch happen, which, I guess depends how you see it, right? I feel like us here in the West, we see suicide in a different way than those in the
It's
East.
always treated as a sin. In the East, they felt it very honorable to die in that form. It was more honorable to die by suicide than to live, as a treasonist in a way.
Yeah.
Some of them.
So for the sister to say like I need to do this to make sure that my brother lives, and to make sure that my brother finds his way, and also that way my brother can have a full transformation back to the person that he was taught to be, right? But yeah, I just what a freaking scene, just beautiful photography in that. Yeah.
Stacy, great guy, Sancho. Loves kids, loves people. He's going to be the next Secretary of Labor.
Jesus Christ, yeah. Yeah.
God damn it, Stacy. God damn it, Stacy. You're going to get a sent somewhere.
Yeah. Man, dude. So, I went and did my research because I wanted to know what this guy had done before. But oh my God, dude. This man did not know what it meant to not work, Brad.
How many movies did he make?
Over 100 films, Brad. And in the span of 1 year, the man was making like almost 12 films a year.
That's pretty nuts.
How? Sadly, the very sad thing about this is like a lot of these movies are lost.
Yeah, I'm looking through the Wikipedia and it's just like lost.
Yeah. Like they're all lost, sadly, because they're like all silent films.
Yeah, I mean, you're gone, yeah.
Yeah. The guy did not know what it meant to stop working, Brad. But he did die like in 56. So, but Mitsuguchi is one of those names that gets brought up with Ozu and Kurosawa. And after watching this, now I see why.
I can see definitely the use of lighting, the sets,
Yeah.
The cinematography style. It's very reminiscent of a Kurosawa.
Yeah. They all, and I wouldn't put it past it that a lot of these guys like worked closely together during these years,
Yeah.
But what I was also impressed by, Brad, was, seeing a movie that concentrates on, the lower class of Japan, which you
don't really like.
You don't see a lot of that.
You don't like in many films we watch with Kurosawa. That was another thing that you bring up that I was actually thinking. I'm like, it's really different to see the lower class shown in film, because if you look at the Kurosawa films, you don't really see that. Like the lowest class you get is like the hired thugs for the Yakuza.
And in One Wonderful Sunday, those two people are pretty poor, but like struggling poor. We're not talking about like dirt poor that gets sold into fucking slavery poor.
Yeah, but that's like in a almost post-war Japan.
Yeah.
That's not like any of the samurai films we have come to expect from Kurosawa. You don't really see it from, a poor character's perspective. Maybe Hidden Fortress.
Yeah.
Maybe that one. But other than that, there's not like a ton of them.
Yeah.
Of this one, it really did focus on, okay, so we start with someone who's basically what, the governor in a way,
Yes.
and he gets, he basically does what his son does in the future, and he defies an order, and he
Yeah.
gets sent off, and his wife and kids are basically in exile at that point, and they get traded. And then we see what happens to those who get kidnapped and then sold. They
Yeah.
become indentured servants or workers or slaves
Slaves.
to whoever can afford it. And in this
Yeah.
case, it was another government worker, Sancho the Bailiff, who was tyrannical in many ways. And I really hope that at the end he died. Like, I don't know if it ever like explicitly said Sancho was killed, but I really hope that was like that man was put to death for everything he did.
Yeah. I
Otherwise,
really hope so.
there was no point of just giving up that governorship. I would have fought to keep that governorship until that man's head was rolling on the ground.
Yeah.
But
What a
you're right.
fucking dude.
But you're right. We got to see like how these people lived, and it was not great at all. They were just basically they were beat into working. They were beat while they were sleeping, beat while they were eating. If they even dreamt of running away, they were branded with a hot iron, which we had to listen twice to screams,
Yeah.
which not the greatest thing to hear.
Yeah. What, like, yeah, the guy, like, what's it called? The people who get branded, dude, like, holy fuck, dude.
When the woman was branded, that was just hard, just hearing that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm really, what's it called? Really impressed by this movie. And much like Kurosawa, how much Mitsuguchi covers, the life of women. But this one's more in the forefront compared to Kurosawa. A lot of what's it called? The women are very much in the background, but their presence is very much felt in his films. But with Mitsuguchi, the women are in the forefront.
Well, I don't know. With Kurosawa, you have a very strong female characters.
You
like
do,
these.
but primarily the men are the
primarily
central figure.
There are a few. I mean, Hidden Fortress has a strong female character. There's a few others, but you're right. They're mainly kind of background characters. In this, they are in the foreground. I'm not sure they're portrayed as the strongest. Maybe the sister, maybe the mother.
But I think it's impactful that they're not portrayed as the strongest because
they're enslaved. And
enslaved, yeah.
I mean, it just shows you like when they have no power, they're even like it's even a worse life than what we've seen. The very opulent, rich. Those females also don't have that great of a life, but it's much better than being enslaved.
Yeah, I love this movie, man. I do think that what's it called? I don't want to score it too high in case we do see something else that might be better from him. But for the first film that I see from this guy, those 2 hours did not overstay its welcome at all. I think it worked really well. I know I knocked the fuck out right after I finished the movie, but that's more on like how fucked I did today that I'm tired. But I'm gonna go ahead and give Sansho the Bailiff a 9 out of 10, Brad. What's your final verdict?
And I'm not following roll. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. The movie's terrific.
Damn. Okay. Right off the fucking bat, bro.
I'm not even. Nah.
Yeah.
This movie's terrific.
Jeez. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that coming from Brad. Yeah. That means we do need a month soon. Yeah. Yeah. Well, even though a lot of his movies are lost, Brad, he does have like 6 in the Criterion Collection, so that means there's enough for us to watch
for a month.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got what's it called?
Does that explain how they were lost? Just where was like the film studio just I don't have room and just dumped them?
I'm gonna guess a lot of it is like the same old story of always, Brad. Film stock used to be nitrate film before, and it was just if it not preserved correctly, it was gonna lose.
Oh
quality and just
Even better than Craven. I don't know, Stacy. I've never seen Craven and never will.
I never will. Yeah, I'm never going to.
Be up in the air.
Yeah, but yeah, I gotta what's it called? Look into us doing a month for this guy because this stuff was incredible.
Terrific.
Horrific, dude.
Absolute
And-
cinema.
Yup. And of course, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you guys on the next one, but of course, keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore, Instagram at the Nerdcore, Letterboxd at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/Nerdcore for your episodes for ad-free, live and early episodes for everyone on the $1 tier and above. That is just $1 a month. We don't even make any money on that tier, guys. We don't make we're not making much money on that.
Yeah, so if you want to give us money, get the $5 tier. Like Stacy.
Yeah, like Stacy. Yeah.
Like Stacy. Be like
But
Stacy.
for $1, we can at least give you an ad-free episode and early and access to the vault. So, check that out. Discord link is in the description below where you can recommend us more Mitsuguchi films, and you can tell us what else, what other movies we should probably check out from him. And of course, I do know they have a 4K of Ugetsu, one of his other films, so I would like to see that. I don't know what else. I don't want to end up buying a fucking Blu-ray of Sansho the Bailif, and then all of a sudden, like next month, they're like, "Oh, look, we got a Sansho the Bailif 4K coming out."
4K coming out right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
if it was Kurosawa, you'd be safe. It wasn't coming out.
It wasn't coming out. Well, compared to Kurosawa, these movies aren't made by Toho. So they're probably a little bit less stingy than fucking Toho, right?
Yeah, I would hope. We would hope.
Yeah. One would hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who knows, Brad? It might be a little different. But it looks like it's never been released on a 4K anywhere else. So chances are of a 4K are pretty slim to none. So it might be safe for me to get the Blu-ray on the next sale. But make sure that you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell so you don't miss another review during this week or the rest of the month. So make sure you do that, please. It helps us out a lot. Leave a 5-star review on your favorite podcast app of choice and follow us on that app, as all that helps us out so freaking much. And of course, thank you to our patrons. They're the ones who make it possible. We love you guys so much. And the best way that we can make it possible for you guys is by giving you guys live, early, and ad-free episodes just for you guys. So thank you guys so much. Brad, tell them about our executive producer, Shane.
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at ThriftedIL, or go buy something from the Suppy God at depop.com/Prison City Vintage.
Yeah.
For
sure, bro. We will be back tomorrow. Patreon.com/nerdcore. $5 tier and above for the Spawn Season 3 Episode 2 watch along. And then on Friday, we're going to do, what's it called? We're going to do a Nora. Live early and ad-free on the $1 tier. And then it's going to go up for everybody else during the week. Our episode of High Life drops on... Wait, today was Wednesday, right, Brad? So drops on Thursday. Drops tomorrow for everybody. And then this will be dropping on Saturday. Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I don't know. Programming is hard. Editing it takes some time. Brad, let's fucking get him out of here.
All right, Roll Theming host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat once again. Thank you to our listeners out there, our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Stacy has a comment. Spawn Season 3. He might leave the alley this time. No, he won't.
He won't. He never does.
Stacy never fucking does. They had alley the whole time. So anyways, I guess to end this episode, I will say, remember, if you have like 10 to 40 dudes keeping about, I don't know, how many slaves do you think they had? Like
fucking
200?
hundreds,
like a 200? Like, rise up, stomp them in it.
You outnumber.
You
outnumber the slave owners, man.
Just own them. Fucking bring it to them. you know,
Yeah.
guilt out.